Welcome back to Face to Face. I'm Jon Ralston. He may be the most sought-after interviewer, at least one of them in the country, and we have him right here on Face to Face. Doug Hampton, the man who was John Ensign's chief aide, left, he says, after an affair between John Ensign and his wife way back in April or May of 2008. He is telling his story exclusively here. The question is really why you're telling the story. You may recall that your attorney, when Ensign went public with his press conference in which he did a very basic announcement of this and didn't take questions, your attorney slammed Ensign for going public with this very personal matter, especially after the Hamptons did everything possible to keep this matter private. But you really didn't you? You wanted some attention on this. You wrote the letter to Fox News.
Yeah, I mean, you got to look at the time frame here, John. There's a lot that's happened in between all of this. Did I write that letter to Fox and jump on it in January of '08? No, I didn't. Okay. When we get to this February encounter that takes place, which is very important, I think it's an important marker in all of this.
Talk about that. What happened?
So, yeah, I was alluding to the fact that John just became distant. Things became apparent that things were not settled, that this was not just something that happened that Cindy's very devastated over, that John, he's got some other things going on inside of him. So I chose to bring in some really close friends of ours, men that we've known for a long time, 10-plus years. Tim Coe, David Coe, Marty Sherman. I went to those men, I think the evening before that letter was written, and I talked with them about what was going on, and I just said, I don't know what to do.
You're talking about a different letter now. You're not talking about a letter to Fox News, correct?
No. This is the letter, yes.
You're talking about a letter that John Ensign wrote to your wife, which we are going to show to people.
But the Fox News letter alludes to all of it. It talks to the Coburn event. It talks about the February 15th time frame is critical.
I just don't want people to get lost.
Gotcha.
This is discovered in December. You go back to work. You decide you're going to go back to work. You're not going to unravel this. You decide in your mind, for whatever reasons, and your wife decides, devastated by this, but we're going to move on. We're not going to unravel this. You have to provide for your family, etc.
Correct.
And so then in February, you contact some people, and I believe they were affiliated with this Christian Fellowship organization, yes?
It's more about where they live and how these men operate in their life. They're great men. They have a good heart.
Why did you contact them?
Because they're close friends. They're a part of the men who live at C Street.
What did you want them to do?
Confront John. I wasn't comfortable that where John was going with this and what his truth and the things that he was telling me and his conduct towards me was this genuine, remorseful, broken man that did this unbelievable thing in December and realizes it and wants to go back to work on the right things in his life. He is not focused on those things. He's focused on something else. So I confront him with these men. And Tom Coburn on the fact that, yes, you did make advances and you did pursue Cindy. Yes, something happened. You acknowledge this. And these men just say, oh, my gosh, Doug, this is, or John, this is unbelievable.
I don't want to go too fast here. Tom Coburn is a U.S. Senator. People should know that. He was in on this confrontation with these other men. But you decided to do this, am I correct? Because despite this supposed remorsefulness, you found out he was still pursuing your wife. Is that correct?
Yeah, I believe.
How did you find, what did you think was happening?
His conduct, his behavior, you got to just imagine how difficult the work environment is. John really does, and you come to find this out, have very strong feelings for Cindy. So he doesn't want to end this. He kind of sees that we're stuck. We're in a situation here where it's not easy to navigate through. Cindy tries to go back to work. Doug goes back to work. But he is pursuing Cindy.
And this, I know this is difficult, sir, but you seem to be acting as if your wife is completely blameless in this. John Ensign says this affair went on until August.
Yeah, that didn't happen.
That didn't happen?
It didn't happen like that in any way, shape, or form. Cindy came very clean with a lot of things in March and solicited my help and asked for my help. Now, you know, the issue isn't about was it handled perfectly, did it all go down perfectly in that situation? No, but Cindy really wanted to pursue the right thing. And John, quite honestly, and you'll see through all of this, you'll see through this discovery, that John, given the opportunity, chose what was best for John and kind of ramrodded and ran through people, including those very close to him, when he was confronted with this. He wanted a relationship with Cindy.
I want to talk in detail about that confrontation, and I want to talk about the allegations that John Ensign is now making about you, that you were an extortionist. I want you to be able to explain that. We'll be back with Doug Hampton when Face to Face returns.
watching Face to Face with Jon Ralston, a program presented in partnership with the Las Vegas Sun, Cox Communications, and KLAS-TV.